Previously on Brick Fanatics.
Thank you.
Subscribe to Brick Fanatics.
We've heard of Brick Fanatics.
If you could both look into this camera just briefly.
Hello, my name is Antica. I'm a senior model designer in Icon's team, and I've worked on this model.
Hi, my name is Ashwin, and I'm a senior graphic designer working in the Icons team. And together with Antica, I've worked on this set, but mainly on the graphics.
At what point in working on Rivendell did you start on this one? And was it a matter of kind of responding to feedback, or had you already started it long before the other one was revealed?
It was, Rivendell was already out when we started. When Rivendell was done, I believe that we didn't know yet if there's going to be a next one. So yeah, after Rivendell came out, we started to talk, maybe we should do another one. And yeah, then we just sat down and started talking, like what could it be? And this one was, I think, pretty much the first on top of everybody's list. So we have a lot of fans around the building, and we were talking to them, and whoever we asked, like, what do you think should be the next one? Everybody said barad-dur.
Yeah.
So there weren't any considerations of other iconic towers or other locations from Lord of the Rings. This was like
we did, we had a list of things that we would like to do, but we were also considering different factors, like what makes sense to follow Rivendell, because you see one like beginning of the journey and a nice colorful bright space with certain characters, and then we said it would be nice to actually have a contrast to that. So new characters, completely different setting, different colors, darker, so it made sense in so many different ways to actually go with this one.
What were the features that you felt needed to be in here for this one? What was the kind of your must-have elements to it?
Well, I think obviously the eye was like, it was a starting point. We said we need to have the eye that has to also be illuminated. Maybe some movement of the eye would be nice. And yeah, we knew we wanted to follow Rivendell when it comes to like minifigure playability and features and interior. So we knew that we want to put interior inside. So yeah, did I answer your question?
Yes, definitely. So Ashwin, you overseeing the minifigures?
Yeah.
Yes. Which one was your one that you enjoyed designing the most?
Well, this time it was, of course, focused on the bad guys, and I had the privilege to work on Sauron. I knew it was a very desirable character, also from our side, but also maybe from the outside world, like fans would like to have this figure. And I had the chance to work on him, and that was like, I think, one of the figures that I started with, and it was very, very cool to work on, and very iconic for me as well to have him on my screen. The other one was Gollum, because it's a redesign of what we did before with the older elements from 12 years ago, and we wanted to redesign him in a way that he would fit more of our minifigure guidelines and style guides. So that was basically a total redesign of his face, and I had to take a good look at. We didn't want to go all the way dark Gollum, but also not the happy Smeagol. So I had to combine the two into this perfect middle ground in the expression of his face. And that was a big challenge, but
Of course, you can't turn his face around.
No, that would be a bit weird with this one. Yeah, and the rest of the figures, from there we started to outline the priorities. So we started with Sauron, and then we have the Mouth of Sauron and Gothmog as the named characters. And from there we had our hero selection, so we still follow Frodo and Sam on their journey, now accomplished by Gollum. And then we took a good look at, okay, what else do we have room and budget for the rest of the characters. And we ended up with these 4 generic orcs that are, either getting ready for battle or are having a role within the tower. So we had some fun with those as well.
You say they're generic, but looking at them, they're all so different in their own way, and you've done a great job of diversity is the wrong word, because often we use that for a different context, but you've made them all feel like unique characters. How much of that was your own imagination, and how much of that was drawing from source material?
I think it was half-half. So we had a few characters that we could clearly get reference material for, and also within the movie scenes that we could literally see, okay, what type of armor are they wearing, and that's mostly the green orcs. They have like this very distinctive armor with a lot of spikes and points. And the other orcs, I think they were more part of Gothmog's army. They were a bit hard to see within the battle scenes that we had to freeze frame a lot to see what they are wearing, and we saw with the reference material that we had that they were basically patched together with different types of armor and pieces. So we just took the generic silhouettes of them and then could add our own imagination to it. And luckily I did not everything alone, so I had help of Georgie, who was one of the original designers of the Lord of the Ring figures in the original lineup, and a colleague of mine within the Icons team, Nathan, who did also some amazing design work on some other figures.
So coming back to the structure itself, which is fantastic, where did the idea come from making it modular and being able to add additional layers on top?
I mean, it comes from different reasons. First of all is, of course, just the building experience. The model is split into sections, so you have very specific areas of the model that you're working on. I can also just dismantle them too, so you can have a better look. So we have the tower, the throne room, and the dining hall. So, of course, one thing is accessibility of the interior. So, if you want to take them apart this way, you can also, if you want to play with the set, you can, reach into everything better. You can see what's going on inside. Of course, there is, the model is huge, and if you just want to move it around, it's easier if you can just take it a little bit apart. So like, I don't know, we had Eiffel Tower it also comes in 3 sections just because it's so heavy. It is definitely doable to carry it around in one piece, but I don't recommend it because it's really, really heavy. Yeah. So it's just easier. It has different reasons why we decided to go that way. But yeah, and I mean, like one of the reasons, of course, is every section has different geometry. So yeah, like, you have the walls of one type of, like the angles here are not the same that we have here or here. So we had to split it in sections so we can do every section of the model in a different way. So it also helps to make the model not be repetitive, because every section is unique.
And I think with copying the tower, you're just playing with the idea at one point, like with just what if you could do it, and you started to measuring it out, and
something that we discovered it's actually easy to do.
Obviously, when you look at this tower, the first thing your eye is drawn to is the eye. It's such an important part to get right. You've done a great job, but how did you arrive at that solution? How many iterations did you go through?
Funnily enough, the eye was the first thing that we designed. So we started kind of from top towards the bottom, because the eye is the most iconic part of the model, and that was the starting point. We were talking a lot and thinking a lot how it should be done. So we did have, I think, most of the designers in my team working on their iterations of the eye, and then we're just trying to see which one works the best. And once we found the shape and the size that we felt like it's the best choice, then we started to work on the rest. So the eye was the first thing that was made, and then we started to work on the platform and everything surrounding. We had different sizes and shapes of everything around, and it was just figuring out if it's what works the best, basically. And yeah, so it was the first thing, and then we just followed. We were following the silhouette of the model and just shaping the rest of the fortress.
So did that then dictate the scale of the set as well?
Pretty much. Yeah. Because I mean, if you made the eye a couple of millimeters bigger, it would affect everything, because it affects the space that it needs between these little support pillars. So I think it turned out really well. Like when you compare it to the fortress that we see on the screen, and I feel like the silhouettes are very close to each other.
And then beyond, obviously, the eye is a lot of colour, but then you go down the tower and it's a lot of black. So how did you balance out the colour composition to make sure that detail didn't get lost?
Yeah, there was something that was actually super fun to work on. we decided very early on that we need to add something to make the tower look more dynamic. So we first agreed that it would be fun to actually include a little bit of terrain, so that we have a base that extends a little bit further away from the fortress itself. So we decided that it would be great if you had if you have a source of light, and then everything that is close to that source of light is warm. It's like when you point your light at something, it has a different hue than things that are further away. So we applied the same principle here, and we said, okay, let's see what it would look like if we actually made everything around these light sources super warm. And I feel like it works really, really well. So like on the bottom section, we have this mountain that goes from like really being vibrant and warm, going a bit colder when it comes up, but it's still, this is like a middle section. It still provides a lot of color as a contrast to the dark colors of the fortress. And I think color coding certain things is also a really great way to go. Like we decided that the tower should be, everything related to tower should be black, and then the terrain is going to be really colorful. And we went to the point where we were discussing if these little crusts of lava should be black because they're not part of the tower. And then we decided, okay, we're just going to leave a few of them, but everything else that's not directly related to tower is not going to be black. And I think that's what makes it stand out and not look so monotonous.
I think very, very effective, I have to say. It looks really good.
This is now, I guess, the second of the two towers, if I've got my Lord of the Rings law correct. You got the Tower of Orthanc from 2013, I think it was. Did you have that set on the desk next to you while you were doing this one? Are they in scale or anything like that?
Yeah, we did have it as a reference, because we did want to keep sort of like a tone of voice and language there with interior, and and this one is taller because we know that this is the tallest structure in Middle Earth, so we did want to have that difference in heights. Like if you have both of them, they should be different. So this one next to that one does look more like.
Yeah, it also gave us an example of that tower is mostly black, and that also gave us a push into adding these colors to really dissect it from that other tower.
I really love the whimsy that you've managed to get into here, because obviously this is in the films and in the books, this is a very serious location. But you filled it with almost jokes and just cute little moments and references. What was it like kind of choosing how to make this interesting and to put in those little features and those little kind of secrets for people to discover?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is brainstorming with the team and with the internal fans that we're having, and just making a list of what could it be. For the kitchen, for example, it really inspired on this one line in the movie that they're saying like, meat is back on the menu, boys, and it's like, okay, if they eat meat, then they should have a kitchen, to prepare it. So we just having these little hints and pieces everywhere to determine what we could do on the inside, and then we also went through what does a typical orc day looks like. Like maybe they're forging weapons, they're making battle plans, whatever. So and Titsa did a lot of explorations on these rooms, right? So we were first, one of the first things we were talking about is like what kind of stories we want to tell in the interior, and then that pretty much determined what rooms we were gonna make. And then like with these little humor elements, it's just a compromise, this is like a darker space, but we still did want to brighten up a little bit with these not so obvious little details that just when you stumble upon them as you're building, you're like, that's funny,
That's really good.
There's a little carrot in there as well, so they have a vegetarian option on the menu. It's not obvious right away, but when you see it, you're like, that's funny.
Yeah. And the IP partner was also on board to add these little humor things.
How much kind of collaboration was there with the IP partner on you returning to like a set like this, where it's not based on something brand new, but something's been out there for a while?
Yeah, I mean it's a very similar process. You still have to, you get some sort of reference material that they can provide, and for this one obviously was mostly the exterior that they could show us, but then we had a lot of fun with the interior because there was no reference for that, but we did still have check-ins with them just to make sure that they're okay with what we want to show. So we had a lot of freedom there. They said whatever you guys think should make sense here, just go for it and then let's see. And we were super happy because they loved pretty much, I think, right away our first ideas. Or like we said, these are the spaces that we think make sense in this tower, and they said, yeah, that's actually really cool. So
Sounds easy.
We did have some testing at some point. We also, luckily we have a lot of people in our organization that are adults and they're fans of this franchise. So we did go a lot outside our own team to talk to these people. We also talked a lot to the team who used to work on the previous Lord of the Rings sets, and we have a lot of knowledge from then. So it was a great process.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of new elements and a lot of elements that are probably going to be exclusive or kind of rarely used again, if ever, from this set. What was the process like for designing things? Like you've got all of the new helmets and you've got obviously the updated Golem. What was it like kind of exploring those as something fresh for this?
Yeah, well, it's of course very fresh and inspiring to work on something new, and also for the element designers, we were challenged a bit with the new helmet pack, because it's a family mold. That means that all these new helmets are made in one mold and they are packed in a pre-pack, and that was a very challenging engineering process due to the different manufacturing. I don't know the depths, but it was a very tough job to do, but they managed to do it, and we are very happy with the end result, because now we have really literally all these different helmets, but also very specific helmets that we see within the movie that you can really dress them up as they were in that particular scene, and we're very happy with that. The new elements are mainly towards the figures, and it's just to lift them up to that premium quality that you get in these type of sets.
Are there any characters you were thinking about including who didn't make the cut?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, no.
Yeah, we made a list of characters that we think should be in there.
Yeah.
Of course we started with Mouth of Sauron and Sauron as first,
Mm-hmm.
and we also wanted to have some sort of contrast and like just to offer more storytelling. So we did say that we would like to have Frodo and Sam on their journey. They're not part of the fortress, but they are nearby, because the fortress is actually super close to Mount Doom and they're on their way there. So we wanted to have that, and also a little bit of tension there between them. We have Gollum, who's still trying to get that ring.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of listed down which characters just made sense, and we knew that we wanted to have a lot of orcs in the model. We don't feel like anybody's missing on the set.
So was there, I guess, both with the minifigures and with the set itself, I assume you were approaching it as kind of a companion piece to Rivendell and kind of the two sides of things. Was there anything that you felt you couldn't do with this that you would have liked to have done because it had previously been done so recently?
I don't think so, because this was just a new take on this product, and we did everything that we could do and wanted to do within this idea, basically. So it was not so much that we were limited because of Rivendell or something. We just saw this as a new opportunity to include characters, building techniques, shapes, whatever. And I think the contrast is the thing that stood out for us the most. This bright living daylight scene in Rivendell, when this is the other side of the story in every aspect. It's focused on the bad guys, it's their fortress, it's the darker color scheme. I think we...
looking back, I feel like the process was actually very smooth when it comes to things that we wanted to have. I don't think there were any big pushbacks, but there were discussions, but it feels like ended up being what we really wanted to have in the model. So I think we're super happy with how it turned out.
So was there anything during the process that changed at all, like a feature that you looked at and then you said, oh no, we've got to rethink this or we've got to do it again?
Rethinking a lot, maybe.
Yeah, I mean there was the model goes through a lot of rebuilding. If you see the first sketch that we had, it is quite different. It was, I think, a lot of stuff when it comes to structure changed drastically. Things were, sometimes in the first sketch things were built like just stacking bricks, and now you have so many things that are studs every way. So a lot of techniques have changed, but I think the most important decisions were made very early on, so that at that point we just knew this is what we have, and then I think there were some changes. Maybe like I think the throne room was different in the beginning. It was when we were having discussions about the character of Sauron and how we will portray him. So like, should he have a throne? Should he be like more like of a statue or something? So this is the area, for example, that changed just because we didn't know what's going to happen with Sauron and how will we show him in the model. So some of things like that, and I think this stage here was, at some point we had Palantir up here in this room, so it was different spaces, and they were just, in the end,
It's just part of the evolution that you're going through with the design process.
Just touching on Sauron, when you started designing his minifigure, how do you balance like replicating the real fine details of his costume on screen with the design language of the LEGO minifigure?
We have our design rules, of course, for the minifigures, and it basically is just trying to stay within those rules. And a lot with these suits from IP partners, like the very detailed armor for Sauron, or if you're working on superheroes or Star Wars or something like that, it's always translating what there is on those live action suits towards the Lego model. And the minifigure, of course, it's a 1x1 centimeter space, so you have to dissect and get rid of some details, and you're focusing on, okay, what is the main silhouette of what I see in the armor, and from there you're building up again in all the details that you can do within the small space you're having.
With Sauron, like we had, we knew, okay, he has like these pointy shoulder blades, he also has a cape, and he has a helmet, and how can we join all of this to work? So I think in the end it turned out really, really great. We knew that in the end this had to be one piece, and it's made so that it fits a cape that he's wearing. So I'm super happy with that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, my name is Ashwin, and I hope you enjoyed this overview of Barad-Dûr, the new Lord of the Rings Lego set.
Yes, and I'm Antica, and I'm also happy that you were with us today, and hope you enjoy this.
Can I say it?
What?
Like and subscribe.